So let me start the screen sharing again. Okay. So the first activity that we have to work on is to design a home for work accommodation for an artist. So the artist will need to select a site. You are free to select the site anywhere in the desert, on top of a mountain, on a mountain cliff, on a seashore, in an island, any place that you find on Google Maps. طبعا around our area, and be creative as much as you can in the selection of the site. Don't bother to make it in the downtown or in a neighborhood or something. No, just go remote as much as you can. The second thing is that you need to think about the artist type. What is the type of the artist that you are going to work with? So our client in this case is an artist, and the artist asks you to select a site and design a home for work to live in. So it can be a seaside, a desert, a city, anywhere you like, a mountain, anything. As a client, the artist wants you to develop a program and site analysis to convince them with your idea. The requirements of the artist are very simple. He wants one master bedroom with a bathroom, one toilet, and one kitchen. And the kitchen can be an open kitchen to the living and dining area. The important part of the accommodation is the work area. So the artist wants a place to be connected to nature, to be special, to be something different to work in. So our aim is to apply our knowledge on this small assignment. So you will need to provide a program and site analysis and upload them to the Blackboard. You can have them both in one document, you don't have to have two documents. And this is what types of artists are we thinking about? We can have, of course, painters of different types that are working on different paintings. You can have people who like to do handwork and textile and so forth. You can have a musician. You can have painting. You can have ceramics artists, graphics artists, many different types of artists. So maybe people work with sculptures.
Okay, Yasser?
Yes.
We get to make up a character, like any.
Yes. You select the artist that you like. Okay. So you tell me, I want this. I want to make this this accommodation for a musician, or a painter, or a sculptor, or a ceramic artist, or graphic artist, or a writer, or a dancer, as you see in this example, or a photographer, or a movie maker, any kind of artist that you think you like to have in your project. The important thing is what kind of architecture you do for this artist. How do you design something that suits their interests and their mood of thinking. So it might be something on the seaside, integrated with water. It can be something very transparent, so that it is sitting in between any landscape. You can think about the different heights, double heights, different settings with water and landscape and mountain. So be free to and creative as much as you can. But my suggestion is not to use very complex shapes. Make it simple and abstract as much as you can. This is also an example of an art. You can also have a courtyard. You can have open terraces. So think about any features that enhances the design, not necessarily any weird and complex shapes. It can be sitting on a beach like this example. It can be many ideas that you can think of. You can use prefabs or maybe containers to create the accommodation. You can use natural materials. You can use domes and bolts and stuff like that, and mud brick. Think about anything that you like. The important thing is that you want to create an environment for the artist to be in contact with nature, to have an outdoor area where they can exercise and sit and so forth. Maybe it will be something traditional, something of a specific style or nature and so forth. So these are some examples that illustrate the assignment. So in order to do this, we need to start think about the requirements to do this assignment. So the first thing is to quickly review with you what is a program requirements or programming requirements. So let me share this screen with you. Okay. Can you see my screen?
It's loading. Yeah, it's clear.
Okay. This first part is about programming. How do we make programs for projects? The first part is to think about the program as an important part of the design activity that we do. Some architects actually do only programming يعني some people focus on programming and it is their business. You don't need to design or make construction supervision. You can work for educational facilities programming, health facilities programming, airports, and you focus on the programming activities. When we do programming, we first need to understand the functions that are in the program, the spaces, the areas, and the relationships, the types of users, what kind of gender, social relations, cultural backgrounds, and the client. The client or the user might not be the same. If you are designing for a developer, the client will be different than the end user. So you also need to understand the client's vision, budget, schedule, because the clients usually are more concerned about the cost and benefits of the project. The user is usually more concerned about how the project will satisfy their ambitions and dreams and needs and so forth. The other part of the design focuses on the site analysis in terms of site shape, topography, roads, views, and so forth, and also focuses on the climate, the temperature, sun, wind, humidity, and the surrounding context or buildings. Their height, form, colors, materials, and so forth. The site and the program are combined together to create a form. The form has two things, the exterior form and the interior space. And in order to create this as architects, we use all the elements and principles of design that we have learned before. The shapes, the volumes, the size, the scale, the color, texture, and the principles of rhythm, unity, proportion, symmetry, asymmetry, balance, and so forth. What we are aiming at is to reach that red triangle in the middle. That is a solution for the challenge. I don't call it problem, it's a challenge of having this program in this site with this form. So programming is actually a very important part of our project cycle. It's the beginning of any project, is to understand the client, the user, and create the program that will, the designer, whether you are the designer or someone else, will use for the design of the project. And then after the design activities, we go to bidding and selection of contractor, and then the construction activities and supervision, and then the post-construction activities of providing manuals, maintenance, and so forth. So everything starts from programming. This is the first step of our work. So the cycle of work, the first part of it, in order to reach the end, is the programming. During programming, we search for decisions based on the problems that we find. Problems can be in the site, can be in the requirements, can be in the schedule, can be in the budget. So we identify the problems and try to make these problems very clear for the designers to approach. So if you have a complex site on a mountain, if you have a site in the downtown, if you have a complex program for a company, you need to identify these problems clearly for the designer. So you go and collect information, as we said, about the site, about the users, and the different functions they need, the cost, the building regulations, and you put all that in a report we call the architecture program. And while you're working, you also can provide some solutions and criteria that the designer can relate to when they work. Why is programming important? Because during programming, we can impact the cost of the project with very little changes in the areas, in the functions, in the components. When we go into design, the more we develop the design and the construction documents and the construction, our ability to optimize the cost of the project become less. So programming is actually money saving. The more time you spend in the beginning of the project in programming, the more opportunity to save money later on. So as I said, programming is the first step after you identify the project, the client, and the site. The first thing you do is programming, and then you go into preliminary design. You get approval, design development, approval, final design, approval, documentation, construction, and evaluation at the end. So many people don't recognize programming or don't give it enough time. It is a very critical part that saves money more than anything else in the project. So you need to think about different issues, the program form. Is it an A4 size, A3 size, portrait or landscape? What are the contents of the program? We have what we call preliminaries. These are the letters of assigning the work to you. Executive summary, 1 or 2 pages maximum. Your employer doesn't have time to read 50 or 60 pages. They want 1 or 2 pages summary so that they can understand the project. The values and goals, the design considerations of the project requirements, space identification and allocation, the relationship matrices, space program sheets, budget and cost, and project schedule. These are all in a preliminary form that you have to provide to the client. You can also add a design analysis part. This is the designer can use these ideas to create their final design. So as I said, the program can be portrait or landscape. It has these different components. Each component has the documents that is required. One the most the project requirements in terms of space allocation. This is the thing that we know all about. One design is affected by many things. Design affected by human conditions, activities. What will people do in the project? In our case, what will the artist do? What do they need? If it's a ceramics artist, they need ovens, they need storage areas for materials, they need large spaces, sculpture artist, painter, musician, dancer, maybe they need an area for exercising with other people. So you need to understand the the user as much as you can. طبعا the environment, the site, the climate, the north direction, the wind, all this is important. Cultural aspects, if you are working in an environment where you have traditions, laws, codes, ordinances, you need to look at that. The technical systems required in the project. Do you require special arrangements, special rooms, special equipment? So you need to understand that from the beginning. طبعا we never forget Maslow's pyramid of values and needs, how individuals يعني have important values in the bottom, physiological needs and survival, safety, belonging, and self-esteem and self-actualization. يعني as architects, we try very much to reach the top parts. How do we achieve self-actualization through our design for the user? That they feel satisfied, they feel happy, they feel that they achieved what they need in the design. طبعا all the environmental factors you already understand that. The characteristics of the site, the climate, the immediate context, the environmental, and how to analyze the site in terms of views, in terms of surroundings, in terms of different buildings and landscape around it. So the site location is the first step. You have to identify the site. Also in our project, you have to have someone, there must be a road or a way leading to the site that you select. It can be on a mountain or on a seaside, but there must be a road leading to there. So you identify the site area, the site boundaries, the site context, and think about how this information will impact the design later on. When you do the program, always think that you are not the designer. You are only providing information to the designer to start designing. So make sure that all the information is complete and clear to the designer. طبعا the sun angles and the solar path and so forth. Any cultural conditions or considerations should be illustrated clearly. Special requirements, social requirements, laws, codes, ordinances should be provided. Any technical, special technical systems, you need also to identify air conditioning, central, not central, types of materials and finishes, and so forth. طبعا you, if it's a special project or a project that needs data, so you get the data from the reference books and make it available in the program. If it's a housing project, then you have to provide all the information about the house. There are many other factors that you can think about: the image, the signage and wayfinding requirements, surveillance, safety, form and color, energy. All these are part of the program. So the project requirements at the end are presented as tables that looks like this, that has the items and sub-items, and they have to be clearly numbered so that we can reference to them, and the number of units needed of each item, and the net area and the total net area of this item, and the net to gross factor, is it 60 or 50 or 70%, and then the grand total of the project, so the gross area of the item. طبعا after we finish this, we translate this table into visual areas so that we can easily understand it and communicate it to the client. And just a quick review of what is a net area and the gross area. The net area is the area that we directly use for our purposes and different rooms and different activities. To use this area, we need to add what we call an assigned area. The area that includes corridors and walls and columns and technical systems and so forth. So the whole is called the gross area. This is the area of the outer perimeter of the project. طبعا we need different areas for circulation, mechanical rooms, walls. The walls, they take a good amount of area from the plan. Toilets, rooms for janitors and cleaning materials and storage, general storage area. So this is what you call the building efficiency. This is the ratio between the net and gross area. That the gross area includes all the other areas required. So if we have a net area of 6,000 meters square and the efficiency of the building is 60%, then the gross area will be 10,000 meters square. There are different ratios for different buildings. They are not too far from each other, but they depend on the function of the building. So for administration offices, its efficiency is 55%. For student centers and science buildings, dormitory, auditorium, it's 60%. Museums and libraries and academics, they're 65%. Physical education and services, about 75%. The more area you need for circulation and lobbies and the less efficiency. If the function is mostly used as area, then the efficiency will be higher. But these are the different ratios that we use. There are also standards for the areas needed for offices or restaurants, dining or restaurant kitchen, hotels, libraries, theaters. So for each area, when you do the program, you understand how many people are in this project and how much area you need to provide for them. So this will be the net area, and then the net area is divided by the efficiency. You get the gross area. After you have these numbers, you start to create relationship matrices and diagrams of the overall organization of the project, if it's a big company. What kind of activities are happening, if it's a science building or a TV station or a bank. You need to understand exactly what do people do and what are the requirements to do this. How the building is connected through networking and computers and so forth. And then you start to translate that into relationship. After you understand these activities, you start to identify the relationships of each item to the other item. So this illustration is usually used to illustrate the relationships between different functions. From this, you start to develop your bubble diagram. And the bubble diagram is also another important step to understand how functions can be distributed, especially, and then how they can be distributed in the site later on. So for complex projects, we develop what we call space program sheet. For each room or each room type, we develop a performance data or space program sheet that identifies the name of the space, its function, its area, and any critical factors, and a bubble diagram of its relationship to other activities. So that is the part about the program. So for our project, you need to look at these requirements, and you are expected to provide a simple program using Excel that looks like this. The items, if there are sub-items, it's okay. The number of units, and the net area for each unit, and the total net area, and the net to gross factor, and get the gross area. So a simple Excel spreadsheet of the items that we are required, and the items that you want to add to the project. So I think we need to also end this presentation here and come back for the last part of our presentation. And we'll take a 10-minute break, so we'll come back at 12 o'clock, inshallah. Are you all there?
Yeah, we are.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So before we leave, again, write your name in the chat, and inshallah 10 minutes, and we'll resume the presentation.